What's up everyone, your main DJ Roxy from Roxy Electronics and Repair. Now right here I have the Pioneer Rev 7. Now a common issue that I get a lot of these that come to the shop for is this right here, the platters. Now I did a video on my story, and that videos I tell why that happens. And you can go ahead and check that video out. I can just give you a quick brief on why that happened. Most places that you go, at least clubs, this mostly happen in clubs, unless you are burning hookahs at your home, which I don't recommend. But at the club you have all these hookah smoke goes in between these platters, and it goes into the sensor, and you have a lot of like ashes and debris goes inside of these platters, making the sensor act crazy. And that if the sensor act crazy and the sensor don't know what position it's in, this means this spins like crazy. And I know that a lot of people have that issue. Well, this video today I'm gonna show you how to fix that problem. Now this is a very intense job. You can fuck up your controller, so you're doing this on your own risk. I'm not responsible for anything that happened to your controller or anything that happened to you. So the first thing we're gonna do is turn the controller this way. Now, recommend that you get a screwdriver. I've been using drill for a long time, so I'm very good with using my drill. And remove all the screws from the bottom cover. And the reason I use a drill is because it's a lot quicker for me. And time is money at the repair shop. Right, we got some more over here. Got another one here. Sure we got all? Nope. Got one more missing. Alright. So once you remove all the screws, you're gonna remove the bottom cover. And right here in the bottom cover, what you're gonna see is your platters. Right here you have your platters. Okay? So your sensor lies right here. So if you remove this screw and plug this out, your sensor is free. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug that. Pass it through here, and we're gonna go ahead and get my screwdriver. Now, this is your sensor right here, and I can tell that this has a lot of ashes because look at this. All that white stuff is ashes. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. And right here, this is where your sensor is, and that's just one of the sensors. We're gonna go ahead and get my other screwdriver and remove that sensor from there. Now make sure you put all your screws in one place. Yep, so we can tell that that sensor has a lot of ashes in it and stuff from the hookahs. We're gonna go ahead and push these back, and we're gonna go ahead and unscrew these screws right here. Once you do that, the platter is free. You just push this up and you're gonna see the platter right here. Alright, so as you can tell, we got stuff from the hookah. It's not as bad as the other one was, but I'm still gonna clean. If I'm gonna clean one, I'm gonna clean the other one. And right here, this is where you want to take your brush. And this is your sensor right here, your sensor plate. And clean this out. Any little dirt that goes on this, the position of the sensor, it cannot read, so it's just gonna act crazy, and that's what happens. You understand? Gonna clean this out very good. Gently take a cloth like this, or a piece of napkin, and just barely swipe through. Alright, what we're gonna do now, once you get the platter off as well, there's another sensor that lies right here, and this got a lot of ashes. I blow out most of the ashes already. I'm gonna go ahead and put these screws in. Be very gentle with this part right here. This is your LED or your screen, and as you can see right here, there's another sensor. And right here in the sensor, we're gonna get the screwdriver. Where the fuck is the other one? Where the fuck is the other one? Small one. Okay. Alright, so right here, as you can see, there's another sensor. Okay, this platter has two sensors. And this is free to be removed. We just put this on the side. And right here, this is where you wanna, take it out. And if you want, what you can do is mark this like this, so you know the position of where this go. If you want to go ahead and mark that like that, so you know that when you're ready to put these things in, it lies with each other, because you're gonna go ahead and pass these two cables in to the out. Just push it out for now. And this sensor has a lot of ashes in there, even though I blow it out. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove this. This plate is free to be removed. And right here, we're gonna remove this sensor sheet. And right at the bottom of that sensor sheet, there's a lot of ashes and stuff. As you can see, look at this. All these ashes goes right into the sensor. If you look in there, and I already blow this out, but if you look in there, there's a lot of ashes. Look at this. Plenty of ashes in there. Just enough to get inside of those sensors, and the sensor cannot see. It's just like if somebody cover your eye and you try to walk with your eyes closed, you're gonna be all over the place. You're gonna be tripping, you're gonna be falling down and all the kind of, so it's the same thing when it comes to these sensors. So look at this, there's a lot of ashes on these sensors. Hope you can see that. These are plastic. I'm gonna go ahead and use some and clean this out. one good reason I don't smoke hookahs. I don't like hookahs. I'm probably like the only Dominican that don't smoke hookah. All my Dominican friends, they smoke hookahs. They like that shit. I don't. I tried once and I spent like 2 days coughing. I'm like, nah, this is not for me. Anything with smoke, it's not for me. You know, coming from the islands too, everybody smoke. But smoke and me don't get along too good. Alright, so once you do that, you want to go ahead and just rest these in there. Make sure that they're very dry. And this, you want to clean this out good. Okay, be careful because this has a washer right here. Just be careful and clean that out good. We're gonna go ahead and move the washer for now. Right here, there's something stuck right here, and I gotta get that out because that could be why this thing is acting like that. Somehow I gotta get that out without bending this sheet, because if you bend this, then you could call it a wrap. Okay, get it out. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and just clean this out like this. It's something like when you, back in the days when you clean your CDs, that you want to be extra careful about how you clean it. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in there. Make sure you don't forget your washer. This helps the movement. And it has a little grease. Do not clean that grease out. That grease helps. You're gonna go ahead and put this on. I'm gonna clean this out once we have it out like this. And that's it. This has one position in there where these screws go in. We're gonna go ahead and put these screws in there. Now, this is the hardest part of this job, is trying to get the sensor to sit underneath the sheet. Once you get that to sit, we're gonna go ahead and put the screws. Do not over tighten these. I remember the mark that we made. We want to make sure that we line it up with the mark. And these have to go inside of these holes. Push them in there. These are your ribbon cables. Make sure that when you get them to come to this side, you pull them out. I still have one more that's being a little stubborn, but we're gonna get it right in there. All right, you see, 1 and 2. You push them out easily and get this to come right in there. Just be careful with any ashes going back in there. And make sure you pull these to the right length. This is how you're supposed to look. And we're gonna go ahead and put the 4 screws that correspond to this. Another easy process, you know, recommend that you really take your time with this. And that's how you go about it. So that's how you clean that one sensor. And make sure that this sensor is clean as well. So you have two sensors, the one from the inside of this, which is the harder one to get to, but I recommend that you clean both of them. Now this can only go one way in, and this is the hard part because you're gonna send these through from the hole over here. But before we do that, we're gonna turn this around and clean this out. You can see there's a lot of dirt built up. If you have a small compressor, this is where a small compressor will work fantastic. If not, you can even remove, you can go as far as removing all these screws and taking that plate out. And you know you're gonna have that clean all the way. Now what you're gonna do is these two, be careful not touching this when you're putting this in. You're gonna go ahead and put these two in there. Like I said, this only goes in one position. Push this in there, inside of the hole. We're gonna get a light so you can see what I'm talking about. The light is dead. We're gonna get this light. You're gonna push this in there and push the other one. Just trying to get it in as much as possible. Push it in. Push it in, push it in. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that you grab it from there. Grab the other one. This is the hardest part of this job. Once you do that, I'm gonna go ahead and let this drop. Alright, this is in the proper way. Let me see. Yeah, that's all. One way you want to know that this is in the right position, you can take this off, put it outside, and you know that the Pioneer sits right in there. This is how you know that you have it in the right position. We're gonna go ahead and flip this over. This has a lot of ashes right here too. These are the ashes that goes right into the sensor, messing up the whole sensor thing. All right, so now we're gonna flip the unit, right? And this is where these cables goes in here, goes in there, and goes back in there. It's kind of hard because this is very tiny, very small, but you gotta get that to sit right in there. Just make sure that that lever is up, and then bring it back down once you get it in there. Push it in there, and this is how you go about it. Make sure that the screws right here line up. For some reason this is in. punch it in. All right, so once you get these cables to pass through, you're gonna go ahead and put them in there. Now it's kind of a little difficult. Make sure that this is up. This is a locking mechanism. Make sure that it's up, and be very gentle with this, as this is very fragile. Wish they did a better design on that. Once you do that, you can go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and do the other one. Like I said, it's a bit fragile, so be very gentle putting this stuff in there. Once you get it in, you can lock it in. That's how you go about that. Okay. Put it in there. Put this one in there too. Once you have that, we're gonna go ahead and put the screws. Just make sure that this is lined up in there, and you want to put the 4 screws to this. All right, this right here, it's the sensor. You want to make sure that it's clean, and you're going to push this sensor in there, and then get your screws that hold the sensor. Want to get this, get your other 2 screws, now you want to pass through this cable over here, right, like this. All right, when it comes to the sensor, make sure that this cable, so on these 2, as you can see, the blue is to the bottom, but on this, the connection has to go in to the top like that. Once it's in, get in, and we are good to go. So once again, these, you will see the blue on the ribbon cable. On this, the contacts light up, and you can see right here it says contact up. So now one thing that you can do before you close this up, of course you want to, I'd recommend that you put the cover. Do not put the screws in, put the cover. You don't want to leave all these electrical stuff out. You don't want to mess up anything there. We had to fix, not to break stuff. So we're gonna go ahead, get this splatter. As you can see, all that white stuff, all of that is ashes, you know, all of that stuff. Honestly, it was not a good design on this platter the way it walks. Most controllers do have the same mechanism. Like if you look at, let me see if I do have one. I don't have one right now, but yeah, get one right here. You know, one of the good thing about Rain is that they have the sensors covered by this. You know, this thing, this covered by this. This came off from the Rain one, but this is the same way that they designed the Rain 12s, also the NS7s, and all these moving platters that Rain has. That's one thing I have to give it to them. This is a very good design because no matter what ashes get in this, it will not affect the sensors. So Pioneer, as much as I love Pioneer products, this is a very, very stupid design, and a lot of people have problem with this stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and put this together and test it out before we close. So we're gonna go ahead right here, look for the groove, and this drops in there. So we're gonna go ahead and plug this in. And as you can see, our platter is 100% functional without a problem. So that's the way to clean your sensors and your sensor, you know, what do you call that? Sensor sheet. And that's how you clean your sensor and your sensor sheet on your platter, on your Pioneer Rev 7. Hope this video was informative enough. If you are brave enough to do this job, you know, shout out to you. And shout out to all my subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, it's the perfect time to hit that subscribe button. It's your man DJ Roxy from Roxy Electronics and Repair. Until next time, peace out.